So let's discuss setting up your columns when designing or putting together a data set. The same principles are going to apply when it comes to the overflow of a cell and typing into a cell. We'll use things like the bold, the italicized, the different fonts. We'll be using the alignment or that double click tool to make sure everything fits in the same cell. So we'll be using the same workbook or data set we used from before to set up the title. So we have inventory data set. Now we're going to add in about 5 or 6 different columns here underneath the title. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to start naming each of these columns. It's important to put things in named columns because later on in the course, we're going to teach you how to insert a table, which is going to allow you to sort, filter, and organize all the information you have in a better way, which will allow you to use the functions that we're teaching you and make those data analysis a lot simpler. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to type in product name. Okay. And we're going to click off of it. So as you can see, it's just a generic font, a generic title. But what we want to do now is I actually want to use some of the alignment tools. So up here in the alignment tools, there's different things. There's left, middle, there's right. So I'm going to put it in the middle of that cell. So I have to click off the cell and then hit middle. And then I'm going to bold it and underline it. So that's our first column right there. So product name. Now we're going to put product number or ID number, say product ID. Okay, so you see it's kind of an overflow right now with this because the cell's a little smaller. So we're going to double click and it's going to reformat that cell. We'll do the same thing. We're going to bold, we're going to underline. Okay, then we're going to put count. Bold, underline, center it up. We'll center this one up as well. Okay. Sold. And see, sometimes it just automatically will reformat for you, knowing there's a trend going on here. So we have product name, product ID, count, sold, incoming. So these are things that we possibly might have incoming, whatever the case may be. And then what we're going to do next is we're going to make a notes section. So the notes section, we're going to use the principles of merging these cells to have a bigger area to write notes. So what we'll do is we'll merge center. And now we can have a wider range of area to write notes in, or whatever the case may be when we get to each of these product names. So it's a longer area, a longer way to do that. So we have notes. Another way you could do this too, you can unmerge, and we could also take shift. We could right click and we could delete that column. So it makes the data set smaller. We could delete this column. We could right click and delete this column. So now, as you can see, we have a smaller area now to work with. I don't really like that because look how small the note section is here. So I'm going to go back. Now I'm going to remerge. So now I have a bigger area. So as we type through the columns here and start adding data, we'll be able to reformat some of these things as well. But as you can see, we want to make sure we have those product names across the board here. Honestly, sometimes we don't even need notes. So we could just delete, 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 and delete. And I can reformat the cells here, border, add that border back on. And now I have this little data set that we can start adding. So I'm going to make these columns a little bigger so I can drag, count, sold, incoming. So there you go. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different columns. We have a good title. We can change the title anytime we want. In the next lesson, we're going to be typing into these, and we're going to show you how there's different trends, the way you set it up, and this will lead us into inserting tables later on down the course. Hope you found that helpful. Look forward to seeing you in the next lecture.